Yes, these are dangerous times. Riots are not good for any civil society. And an impotent police force is not good for a civil society. And a governorship that is devoid of leadership is not good for a civil society, etc., and so on. To me, this is the biggest story out there. If you care to comment on the city of New York bracing for a march on the financial district tomorrow when another mob of rabble is expected to try to shut down the financial district, and Governor, what's his name, Noberg? Governor Do-Nothing-berg stands there like a big doofus and does not crack down on them. This is an astounding time to watch clearly a very dangerous situation getting more dangerous by the moment. Again, I open it up to you on the Savage Nation. If you care to talk about this or any other topic, the phone number is 1-800-449-8255. I'll be right back.
Amos, you likened this to the civil rights movement, to Rosa Parks. Do you think that this is...
But my privacy of the officers violating the First Amendment. You violate us, the internet violates you.
You're listening to the sounds of the drugged-up vermin. You're listening to the worst scum of the earth calling out the names of San Francisco Police Department officers, telling the group Anonymous to do what they want with these police officers' identities.
Rate them all for disrespect, ignorance of the First Amendment, and there they go as soon as they saw that we were reading out their names to be doxxed.
You see, they're taunting the police, and since we do not have a mayor, no one knows who he is, since we have a governor put in by the unions who's invisible right now, he may as well be Moonbeam on the moon, because he's nowhere to be seen when you have such civil disobedience reaching a level where business is being interrupted, the public safety is being affected, public health is being affected, and there's no governor. I'm all in favor of the right to protest. I live by the First Amendment. However, I do not interfere with other people's rights to come to and from work, go to a hospital. I don't interfere with their public health. I don't engage in sexual assault or rape or thievery. I don't use drugs. Do you understand the difference? Do you not understand the difference? Peggy in New York on WOR. Go ahead, please.
Michael, First Amendment. Always. You always talk about the First Amendment. You say it in your commercials. Freedom of speech. This is freedom of speech.
What are you hysterical about? You mean you don't know the difference between freedom of speech? Wait, be quiet. You don't know the difference between freedom of speech and sexual assault, thievery, drug use?
New York City. No. These kids are doing the right thing. Freedom of speech.
These kids? Have you been there? Have you seen that they're not kids? Excuse me, what'd you go limp all of a sudden? Your union controller told you what to say and then told you to hang up? What do you mean these kids? Have you been there and seen them?
I've seen plenty, yes. And
what are you an unemployed vagrant yourself?
No.
What exactly do you do for the society at large? Since you're so concerned with social welfare of our society, what do you do for the society?
I did plenty. I worked very hard. And now
you did what? Okay, what did you do? Let's hear what you did.
I worked for 20 years, and now I'm enjoying my retirement. But when I look at television,
you're enjoying your retirement. How are you enjoying it?
They've had protests.
Are you laying in a tent with one of the youngsters? Is that why you enjoy the young people?
No, I enjoy that they're doing what's good for the country. To let them know, let the government know what's going on.
But you're enjoying your retirement. How come you're not donating your hard-earned cash to those who are engaging in these things?
I give my cash to the veterans, which I'm sorry that nobody talks about the veterans. They talk about this.
Oh, so you think that these vermin in the gutters are now like veterans who fought for our freedom?
No, but I say I give to the veterans, for the disabled veterans.
Well, that's all well and good, but how do you jumble up veterans with the vermin in the gutter?
No, they're not vermin in the gutter at all. No.
Well, why don't you go join them? And why don't you take your retirement and give it to them? Why don't you donate it to them?
No, I did my share.
All right, take a walk, okay? Leave me alone already. I can't... See, this is the problem. You've got gullible, you've got miserable people, gullible people, angry people. This is what is dangerous. I went in front of this crowd and I saw them. I saw who these hardcore rats are. Let me explain to you, these are not kids. And let me tell you something else. I'm a student of history. Do you know who Hitler used in the concentration camps to beat up and to kill and torture his victims? It was the vagrants like this. He got bums like this. He gave them a uniform. He gave them clubs. He gave them guns. He gave them police dogs. And he told them to keep the people in order. They were not ordinary Germans. They were the discontent. They were the malcontents. They were the sadists like this. These mobs are filled with some of the most dangerous people in American society. Make no mistake about it. The reason they're in the streets is because they hate the society. They're malcontents. They're maladjusted. They have never conformed. They never will conform. They like to bring down the entire edifice, and we will all suffer as a result. They're not just innocent kids who want justice in the society. If they did, they'd be outside the General Electric building. They'd be rioting outside the GE building saying, pay your fair share of taxes. Or in San Francisco, if these were kids, they'd be outside Feinstein's house saying, how did you invest in a company knowing it would get a $24 million loan? But they're not outside those houses, are they? They've been deflected onto the wrong targets. How do you confuse the First Amendment with taking over a park and using it as a public outhouse? How do you confuse expressing the First Amendment with raping people, robbing people, scamming people into donating money, and then using it to purchase drugs? How do you not understand what is going on here? You don't know who these people are until you look at their faces. Let me put it to you this way. You wouldn't invite them home for dinner. Let me put it to you another way. You wouldn't want one of them to date your daughter. Let me put it another way. You wouldn't want your son to date one of these girls. Let me put it another way to you. These are very dangerous people. That's all I can tell you. Let's go to some of the callers out there who have been at the New York protests. Fran on WOR, go ahead, please.
Hi, Dr. Savage. Just want to say that I'm a big fan, and so is my entire family.
That's good.
Thank you for accepting my phone call. I just want to let you know that this Sunday, my husband insisted on bringing my 3 teenagers to Zuccotti Park to see really what's going on. And he really felt that our kids were not getting a true picture of what was there from the news.
Yeah.
And I'm a high school teacher myself, and I was very reluctant to go because I was very nervous. But he said, let's go. Well, let me tell you, these people were not people I wanted my kids associating with. They were just the flotsam and jetsam of society.
That's right. These are the flotsam and jetsam of society, the malcontents that are found in all societies at all time. These are the 0.00001% of losers. There's another word for them, the losers, the bottom fish, the slugs at the bottom of the mud. And we're going to let them tell us how our society should be run?
Children my children, I really believe, have a very good moral compass. They were like, Mom, what is wrong with these people? They were not unemployed people. They were unemployable people. There's no way you could trust your business with these people. They are unemployable. Whatever gripe they have, they are just they're unemployable. They are not.
Look, every society at every time has a small percentage that is known as the malcontents. Okay, for want of a better word, it's an interesting category. Now you take the malcontents and you motivate them. You want to call them rabble and rabble rousing. You can put it another way. It's been known through history that there's always a rabble. It was the same rabble that conducted the French Revolution. But make no mistake about it, they're highly organized by union money, by the Tides Foundation, by Soros's money, according to my reading. And that's what makes this dangerous. When you have rabble that's this well funded and this well organized, this is going to get bigger, not smaller. And now you combine that with a complicit media, a fawning media, rather, and then you combine it with a mayor who's afraid to do anything, a governor who's not there, came to power, Governor Cuomo, as Mr. Law and Order, and so far he's been invisible, like our Governor Jerry Brown, because he doesn't want to show his true colors, which is all on the side of these protesters, or else he would have cracked down on them. Where's the National Guard? What's it for?
Mm-hmm.
What is a National Guard for? It's to guard the nation. When you have mobs threatening to close down the nation's financial center, should there not be either a police protection or the National Guard to prevent this from happening?
protect our children from this and teach them that this is just a diversion from really seeing what the truth is?
I don't have a distinct answer for you. I mean, it would take an awful lot of movies of revolutions to show what happens when mobs like this get out of hand and how everybody in the society loses. Remember, once a mob is unleashed, nobody is safe. That's the important thing to remember. And it's up to the leaders who don't exist, because fundamentally the lawmakers, unfortunately, have become lawbreakers. That is why they're not saying anything. They're all as guilty as sin. As we have found out over the weekend from 60 Minutes, both sides of the aisle are as guilty as sin. Admittedly, the Democrats are more corrupt than the Republicans, but what good does that do us, since the Republicans are not calling for hearings on the Democrats who have profited from this insider trading scandal? I'll be right back on the Savage Nation.
Savage.